God. Well, I'm an actress.
Oh, that's actress.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that real quick.
I just say actor because it's quicker and easier, rolls off the tongue a little better. But sometimes people will kind of look at me and I'm like, actress, but who cares? Yeah. It's just, we're all doing the same thing. Actor for sure. Close second is writer. Like when I feel like I'm not acting enough or I just can't get into it, the first thing I go to is writing because it's such a good outlet and a way to express yourself in a similar way. I mean, you're by yourself in your head with your imagination, but at least you get to be creative and you have control over it. So the first project I wrote and produced was The Divine Marigolds, which was a pilot we shot in 2012, and it was really great. It starred Paul Eenhorn, and then a bunch of seasonal actors, and then after that, I produced a short called All My Presidents that starred the David S. Hogan.
That's how we met.
That's how we met. And that was this beautiful period piece, traveled through 3 different decades in a short film, and that was pretty challenging. And then I am writing, I created a character named Pepper Jones, which is this like woman from the 40s, kind of Indiana Jones-ish, gets this power and she stops aging and doesn't realize why and has to go on this mission through the decades of figuring out what she's supposed to be doing. And so a guy named Ben Dobbins and I and Samara Lerman, another actress, went to Ireland and shot a 50s short film based on one of Pepper's adventures. And so it was so cool to play somebody that you like created and wanted to play so bad, and then just to be able to embody it and live it, It was like a dream come true. The thing for me that I enjoyed being on the casting side was if I could put the actor at ease, just with a, hey, how you doing? Like bring their nerves down a little bit, because everybody comes with nerves, and whether you can use it with your character and work with it, or it'll kind of overtake your audition. And I've had both things happen to me. And then really it comes down to an actor committing to a choice. Doesn't even matter if it's the right choice. If you see commitment and they have put work into the audition, that shows. Being able to take direction and change it up and work with direction. Well, Pepper Jones, obviously, like I created a character I wanted to play, and she's such a funny character. She's such a brat, but also has this huge heart. So it's like this really great exploration of something I created, and it's really fun to be surprised by what comes out, because sometimes, I have this idea in my head because I'm creating her, and then we get on set, it's like, oh, no, she wouldn't do that. And so that's been super fun. Would have to be, I think, Hazel Hatcher in Different Drummers. I mean, it just was a chance to play like a really layered and different take on being a mother, and I found that really exciting to be able to jump into and to be a part of a film that had such a cool message, like that then went and affected a bunch of people, because it's about a kid with muscular dystrophy, and it was based on a real story, and to be a part of something bigger that really did a lot of good and made people feel less alone in their struggles. I think for me, like, there can be no greater thing for an actor. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to save Dr. Murch because she is my most challenging character. It was getting cast in a role that wasn't normally in my wheelhouse. I don't generally play the doctor, but I like that kind of challenge. So it's like, how can I bring humanity to this character that could really be technical, and what is her backstory? So in an actor's work class that I did right before I went on set for season 1, I had, Wednesday found out I booked the role, Monday was on set, and that Friday to Sunday I was in an acting workshop where, crazily enough, the scene was about a woman in the apocalypse who has to give up her infant daughter for science, because she is one that's born without the virus. And so that just folded into Dr. Murch's backstory for me. I was like, she's crazy like this because she lost her baby, and she's gonna find this cure, otherwise her baby died for nothing. And so I was so thankful for that. And we didn't ever explore that in the show, but it was my own takeaway that I got to use. I think in the first season, yeah, I mean, I was so terrified. I was like, oh God, I don't want to be the one that screws it up. We're on a tight schedule. I got to get these lines right. It's all a lot of technical stuff. But once you get in there, what's really, because this is the same crew I'd worked with on different drummers, so I knew a lot of the people coming in, which was so great. It was a North by Northwest Spokane production. Once you get in there, it's kind of like a set is a family. The scale, the scope, I mean, you have more people on set, and you've got, you know, on bigger sets, you've got less things to worry about. You got people doing your hair and your makeup and keeping you on your lines and your wardrobe, and you can just really focus on the character. But it comes down to like building relationships with your fellow actors and trust, and then having fun, because you're like, oh my God, I'm like working and making money and doing something I love, and that's what's so cool at the end of the day. You're like, I'm doing the impossible. What was told to me was impossible, and I've been able to do some of that. I got started in junior high, just doing a play, and then all through high school I did theater, and we traveled, and I finally found something that I felt confident in doing, if that makes sense. Like, I felt like, oh God, I didn't have anything that I naturally went to growing, like when I was young, and no sports or whatever, and so acting was kind of this really awesome outlet for me to explore characters I was too terrified to be in real life. Like, I'm generally, you know, pretty easygoing, and I don't like conflict, and you know, and so in acting, I got to just explore other parts of me that I would maybe be too scared to be in real life, and so that kind of cemented it. It's hard in Seattle. I mean, any actor knows there's not a ton of work, and there's a lot of us competing for very small amount of work, and so it became finding those people, your people, your fellow creatives, and how do you keep supporting each other and lifting each other up and encouraging each other. Gaming. I mean, huge gamer. And I guess it's another way of kind of escaping into another world. It's so fun. So I love that. Video games. I play Dungeons and Dragons. I've got a group. Scrabble, cribbage, doesn't matter. I'll play anything. My family. I mean, I have 2 kids, and while that's difficult to be an actor with kids, I'm constantly feeling humbled and grateful that I have them to cement me. To root me into something bigger than myself and a purpose, because I'm a very purpose-driven person, and it really helps bring me back into reality. And I'm like, you know, these little humans that I'm raising I love dearly, and wouldn't trade them for the world. And so family's huge for me. Cooking, we all cook. I have Taco Tuesdays. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Man, I think the biggest thing that you can do for yourself is to keep training, keep educating yourself. It doesn't matter how far you go, you know, you always are, there's room to learn new things, and it will feed your artist soul between jobs. Training makes you feel like you're a part of something. Find people that support you. Like, you're gonna need those people. That lift you up and encourage you and challenge you to be a better actor. That's also really great. Like, the people that really inspire you to get better, and surround yourself and do things outside of acting with those people. Like I got a good girl group, and we get together and we do crazy stuff unrelated to the business, because you can get really muddled down with it, and it can become suffocating in your whole life and depressive for me. So find those people that you can go out there and do other things with. I mean, perseverance, I didn't start booking anything until I was 32 maybe, and I'd been doing that for 13 years, and it just wasn't my time. Tony DuPay, oddly enough, told me in a class in my 20s, he was like, Lisa, once you hit your 30s, you're gonna hit a stride of like young mom, and it'll kind of open the doors for you. And I was like, no, I want to do it now. You know, I was all bratty about it. And then it was totally true. So, you know, getting older is not always a bad thing. I mean, there was a guy that was trying to do a web series and met me and requested a mini skirt because it was in the 60s, and he kept dropping his napkin to look at my legs, and I was 26 or something. I was very new. And then it comes out that it was like one of those things that you shoot. Oh, and he kept going in and out of accents. It was really weird, and cried at his own story. And basically came down to, it was going to be like I had to pay to be in it, and then if we got enough, people had to download to watch it, and then it was going to be a profit share, but I had to pay up front to get it going. I was just like, oh my God, get me out of here. I mean, in retrospect, it was pretty funny, but at the time I was just like, felt very taken advantage of. I mean, get an agent. Your agent should be weeding this out. My agent weeds everything out, and she's not going to send me on something that is questionable, which is great. You know, you're always protected if you're at a casting office for the most part. That, you know, that's public. There's other actors. It's a business, and if it's at all weird to you, like if someone's asking you to go to their house and you don't know them, bring somebody with you. Like, you can't ever be too safe. I would never show up alone to something that seemed weird. So, and I think actors are really intuitive, so listen to your gut and check with other people if you're unsure. Be like, who is this dude? Or who's this woman? Or who's this production company? What have they done? And if you can't find information on it, then it's probably best to video submit. I get one of each. Well, Mexican food, duh. Like, that's my favorite. I've loved that since I was 5. That was what I picked for my birthday dinner every year. So Mexican food. What movie? God, I would pick The Sandlot. That movie makes me so happy. I've seen it 8 million times. Book would be Harry Potter, hands down. I could read that every day till I die. An album, I would pick, God, that's hard because I really love Sia right now, but if it's going to be for the rest of my life, I would pick Ray Charles' Greatest Hits. There we go.